It is the last Tuesday of 2025. Let's see if Sauce gave us any late Christmas presents. Starting in the Scholarium, we have Bound Affix Script Innervation adds Innervation, a debuff reducing critical damage. Bound Affix Script Magicka Steel adds Magicka Steel, a debuff granting Magicka Restoration to attackers. Bound Focus Script Dispel adds a Dispel. And Bound Signature Script Cavalier's Charge adds an increase to damage as ability persists effect. Let's head into the sewers. We've made our way to Imperial City Sewers. Let's see what the Telvar Merchant has. All right, starting off strong with Telvanni Peninsula treasure maps. Telvanni Peninsula brings us Adamant Lurker, Kimona Tong, and Vivek's Duality, but the exciting part about the maps is there are 9 different leads you can potentially get from these, 6 of which are standalone furnishings, and 3 combined to make the Apocryphal Well furnishing. Now, what's really exciting about this is when you get 3 copies of a furnishing, you can then buy that furnishing for gold. So I know a lot of people are looking to complete their codex for these 9 leads. Our scripts, we have Bound Affix Script Heroism adds Heroism, a buff increasing ultimate generation. Bound Affix Script Interrupt adds Interruption effect. Bound Focus Script Bleed Damage adds Bleed Damage. And Bound Signature Script Leeching Thirst adds a heal for percentage of damage done. Our first lead is Face of the Serpent. This could save you a trip to Elden Hollow 1, which is a 4-person dungeon. This one drops off the final boss. Remember, it can drop off the boss in normal. So not a super difficult dungeon to do, but if you want to avoid dungeons, it's here for 25,000 Telvar. Next up is the lead for Glomium Rivets. This is one of 5 leads for the Shadow Queen's Cowl. This one drops off of Somerset Geysers. I would argue that this one is the more difficult lead to get. You have to chase the geysers. The drop rate seems pretty low. So I do think this one is worth getting. Next up is Momentum Vibrant Yellow Skill Style. This one is just purchased from Maj El Ragath for 20 Undaunted keys. So not a super difficult one to get. Probably not worth 65,000 Telvar unless you don't ever run pledges. Then you might not have 20 keys, but I don't think that one's too difficult. And finally, we have Necklace and Ring of the Desert Rose and Necklace and Ring of the Phoenix. All right, let's head over to Infinite Archive. And let's see what Filer Ul has for us now.
I had to use magic.
First up, we have Academ's Almalexia deck fragment. This is one of 5 pieces of the Almalexia deck for Tales of Tribute. This one is found occasionally after defeating Herald Seekers from the Telvanni Peninsula and Apocrypha zones. Next, we have Archival Enigmas. Consume 20 Archival Enigmas to unlock the Veteran of the Infinite Achievement and the Veteran of the Infinite Face Art. Here's your Veteran of the Infinite Face Art. I typically don't recommend these. Not only will it cost you 60,000 Archival Fortunes to buy it this way if you do it in its entirety, it is eventually a guaranteed drop if you just keep doing enough of your dailies in Infinite Archive. Next up, we have Cyrodiil Treasure Maps. I'm a personal fan of Cyrodiil Treasure Maps. I find it's very helpful as a non-PvPer to help me get some sticker book. However, I know a lot of people don't like them, so if you just ask your friends, you can probably get some. Definitely not worth 2,000 Archival Fortunes. Next up, Big-Eared Ginger Kitten's Tag, one of 7 pieces of the Big-Eared Ginger Kitten pet. This one drops out of Carnwasten in Somerset. There are about 1,000 gold on PCNA each. I think that's better than 3,000 Archival Fortunes, personally. And the first one of the day drops fairly easily. So what I would do is I would go in, get at least my first 4 or 5 pieces, and then shop on traders for the rest. But I don't think I would spend 3,000 Archival Fortunes. Next, we have our scripts. We have Bound Affix Script Courage, adds Courage, a buff increasing weapon and spell damage. Bound Focus Script Shock Damage, adds Shock Damage. Bound Signature Script Wayfarer's Mastery, adds improved functionality of skill line passives. Next up, we have Bound Style Page, Engine Guardian Shoulder. Here's what it looks like. When the Style Page Mask drops out of Darkshade Caverns 2, this shoulder will be available for keys. If it's one of the last ones you have missing, you can go ahead and get it, but I prefer to just get these with keys personally and save my archival fortunes for masks. Next, we have companion equipment weapons. These are bound, which means you cannot sell them, and you are at the mercy of RNG as to which trait you get, so keep that in mind before you get them. I say skip this one personally. Our first plan this week is Argonian Tree of Lights on PCNA. This one runs 28 to 33K. On PCEU, I only saw one listing at 14,000 gold. Our first book is Hermamora, the Woodland Man. This is 1,000 archival fortunes. Typically, I do think the books are worth it if you are into housing. You won't be able to buy it, though, unless you know the eidetic memory, which comes from the Quest and Apocrypha Fate's Lost Dream. And then this book would normally drop in Infinite Archive. Again, the RNG isn't great. It's better than some other places, but I think our 1,000 archival fortunes is worth it for books in general. Our first lead is Dwarven Internal Machinery. This is one of 7 pieces for the Dwarven Scarab Pet. These pieces drop out of Zarzel in Blackreach Arcsand Cavern when you kill the Architrons, or whatever they're called. Those Architrons don't drop anything else. So it takes a while to get these pieces. I am perfectly okay if you want to buy all of them using archival fortunes, personally. This one was a pain for me to get. Our second lead is Heartland Basalt Base. This is one of 5 pieces of the Aliad Blacksmithing Station. This particular lead drops out of the public dungeon Cylorn in Westweald. Our second plan of the day is Indral Carpet Grand Almalexia. This one runs 35 to 95 on PCNA, and on PCEU it looks like about 20 to 37K. So not a horrible deal, nothing super exciting though. This beautiful Leowin bed, pattern Leowin bed, formal double, runs 20 to 36K on PCNA, and then on PCEU I only found one listing for 35K. So definitely a shortage of listings on PCEU for the plans that we're looking at today. So might be worth snagging since they seem to be a little bit more rare. And then finally we have the Silver Rose Blooms over Border Watch, which is a book furnishing. This one drops in IA and the eidetic memory comes from IA. And again, if you don't know how that works, I do have an article linked below. All right, let's run some Infinite Archive and see what new gear is dropping today. We just finished 2 arcs of Infinite Archive, and it looks like this week we have gear dropping from the Rift. That includes Draugr's Heritage, Witchman Armor, and Yiskmor's Birthright, as well as from Westweald, which includes Aliad Refuge, Macabre Vintage, and Symmetry of the Weald. That's going to do it for this week. We'll see you in the next one.